Death Note, probably one of the most, if not the most influential anime of all time. Death Note is a timeless masterpiece that I believe everyone should watch at least once. Light Yagami, being the main character, is one of the most clinically insane anime characters of all time, and for some reason it's hard not to root for him. We start with Light first finding the Death Note being a totally normal, relatable high school student, and we follow him on his downward spiral to becoming what he hated the most, a criminal. Even though Light Yagami became a manic killer, I wanted more for him. I didn't want his story to end, and I'm sure many fans felt the same. But luckily for us, his story might not be completely over, and this brings me to my favorite Death Note theory. Did Light Yagami become a Shinigami after death? Now I know that sounds crazy, but stay with me because there is a ton of evidence to back this theory up. My first piece of evidence is a quote directly from Ryuk. In this quote, Ryuk is explaining to Light one of the consequences of using the Death Note. Ryuk explains that a human who uses the Death Note neither gets to go to heaven nor hell. Now, if Light can no longer go to heaven or hell, where exactly will he end up when Ryuk inevitably writes down his name? I would like to think humans who use the Death Note will later become a Shinigami as a consequence of their selfish actions on Earth. This is also symbolized in the final episode when Light is trying to make his getaway and he makes his way to a set of stairs. Now when Light tries to climb these stairs, he only makes it halfway up. To me, this is a clear symbolization of Light being stuck in the middle of heaven and hell. Heaven obviously being the top of the stairs and hell being the bottom. In the Death Note, it is also further explained that the place in between heaven and hell is also known as nothingness. This makes me believe that nothingness is the Shinigami realm because the whole reason Ryuk even went to Earth in the first place is because the Shinigami realm is too boring. It's almost like he was living in an eternity of nothingness. My next piece of evidence being the whole thing this theory was ultimately built upon, this being from a scene from Death Note Re Light 1 Visions of God. In this scene, we see Ryuk sitting in the Shinigami realm when an unnamed Shinigami approaches him, explaining to Ryuk that he's been looking for him and that he wanted to hear the story of Light Yagami. After telling Ryuk this, he confidently throws him an apple, as if he already knew this would get Ryuk to tell him the story. Now, first things first, how does the Shinigami even know Ryuk likes apples? To me, that was a very strange coincidence. Another indicator that this unnamed Shinigami is Light Yagami is from the Shinigami's appearance. For example, around his forehead, the Shinigami wears a red tie, very identical to the one that Light is shown wearing for his school uniform multiple times. The Shinigami also wears a book bag, just like the one Light is shown wearing numerous times in the show. Their hair is also very similarly colored and textured, the only difference being how it's styled, and the last being the eyes. The Shinigami is depicted with very similar eyes to Light's iconic red eyes shown in every dramatic scene in the series. The most probable answer to this is that the Shinigami carry over aspects of their personality and characteristics from their past lives. When Ryuk finally starts to tell the story of Light Yagami to the Shinigami, he just ends up leaving without even hearing the story, defeating the whole purpose he even came to meet Ryuk in the first place. Maybe he really didn't even want to hear the story. Maybe it's because he already knew how the story ended. I believe that there is way more to this interaction than meets the eye. This had to be intentional. There were too many clues and similarities for this to be a coincidence. And now I know there has been many other unnamed Shinigami in the show, so it is not a for sure that this Shinigami is Light, but there was way too much emphasis on this interaction, and I definitely feel like the writers were definitely trying to convey something more to us. I always felt like this was the most accepted answer because we really never got an explanation on how Shinigami come to be, so I feel like everybody kind of just concludes that Death Note users become Shinigami, but it's never really been proven, so it is just a theory. But yeah, anyways, that has been the video, and I know it was a little bit of a shorter one, but honestly, these types of shorter videos have been really fun to make recently. I feel like they're really easy to watch and they do open a bunch of discussions for the community, so let me know what other types of videos you guys want me to do next. Anyways, it's been your boy Dame Kage, and if you would be so kind to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, help me hit that YouTube algorithm. But yeah, peace.